Hello, this is Napoleon Harris, and this is my presentation for Module 1 in reference to Russia's strategic cyber capabilities. Over the years, many different definitions have evolved for cyberspace. The U.S. Department of Defense, for example, considers cyberspace as a global domain within the information environment consisting of the interdependent network of information technology infrastructures, including the internet, telecommunication networks, computer systems, and embedded processors and controllers. Here's a transcript of what I plan to speak on here in this 2-minute presentation. The Russia who, what, why, where, and how. The concept of human warfare has shifted from a battlefield to a borderless digital realm where attacks can be carried out on a global scale. Cyber attacks can be carried out against a nation which could destabilize the economy, weaken national security, or alter public perception without employing any form of traditional military power. Before the onset of the internet and the networks, the military power would need to invade an adversary to take down their critical infrastructure or fracture their government. Here's a continuation, a little history of the Cold War. Following World War II, U.S. and allies in the Soviet Union struggled for global supremacy, which was known as the Cold War. The Cold War was not a war of direct battlement. Instead, it was a war of antagonization through political maneuvering, espionage, propaganda, economic aid, military coalition, and proxy wars between other nations. During the Cold War, former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev attempted to democratize the country's political system and decentralize its economy, which ultimately led to the fall of the Soviet Union. Russia's historical targets in their strategic cyber campaigns have been NATO, the United States, Ukraine, the European Union, and the West in general. The global threat. Over the past decade, Russia has been refining their information warfare capabilities and cultivating an advanced cyber force comprised of cyber troops, cyber criminals, proxies, APTs, group activists capable of espionage, cyber intrusion, and intimidation campaigns on other nations. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI stated in a 2016 JAR, or Joint Analyst Report, that the Russian civilian and military intelligence services are part of an ongoing campaign of cyber operations which utilizes spear phishing campaigns to steal information from government organizations, critical infrastructure entities, think tanks, universities, political organizations, and corporations. Furthermore, the DHS and the FBI explain RIS actors are conducting disruptive cyber attacks on a global scale and successfully attacking the critical infrastructure. Russia's biggest global threat, cited here by Kevin Madia. Although China was once the principal cyber threat to the U.S., Russia has surpassed China, according to James Clapper, former U.S. Director of National Intelligence. Russia is developing the capabilities to hack the industrial control systems that operate the electrical power grid, transit systems, air traffic control, and supply lines. And here's just a look snippet on cognitive warfare, and this is where Russia seems to be focusing on ideology or try to create skepticism and doubts about the democracy platform in itself. Here's a couple of quotes here. I'll read one. The first is the cognitive psychological fear centered around the defense of the cognitive resources of Russia's armed forces and its domestic population, as well as the exploitation of those of its adversaries. This conception draws on aforementioned aspects of the Russian strategic tradition, emphasizing the role of propaganda, deception, denial, and disinformation as methods used to weaken a target's morale and disrupt their decision-making process in order to achieve desired strategic effects. And here are the references. Thank you very much.